Okay, guys, well, here you go. Comparison. So we got to do a real, a physical comparison here. And I'm going handheld here with this fancy dancy. Don't make fun of my lazy Susan. It's all the felt I had. Fancy dancy setup here. So you can see the size of these things. Let me go up and show you top side here of what things look like up on top. Okay. Gives you an idea. Weight wise, I think the Flex, they're pretty close. They're pretty close. I don't have the specs in front of me because I don't want to be reading off a sheet at this point. I am going to put the specs up and show you the situation. So going with the ANAN-100 first, you've got this, what I would consider non-standard microphone input. You got a headphone, you got the key. This is your Ethernet to hook up to the computer. Power switch, okay. A couple LED lights down here. Over to the Flex. You've got the standard 8-pin mic connector, power switch. 1/4-inch phone as compared to the 1/8 inch. An 1/8 inch key a 1/4-inch key as compared to the 1/8 inch on the Apache. All right. These two rigs are of similar capability. We'll put it this way. 2 slices on this one, similar to this guy. You can't do diversity on this one. The 100D, you can do diversity. This one, you can't. Let's swing it around, okay? Give you some side shots of this guy, all right? And now you can see the depth difference. I have them pretty similar lined up here, okay? The Flex is a lot deeper, all right? Let me swing it around this way. Okay, you can see the difference. Okay, so backside, there's a lot going on. Definitely a lot going on comparing the two here. Especially on the Apache here. All right, so let me do this here while I'm thinking about it. So I'm only using antenna 1, so I'm going to put this back on there so I can, when I hook this all back up, it'll make it easier for me. But I wanted to give you the good lay of the land first. Antenna 1, antenna 2, antenna 3, RX2, external 1, transverter receive, external 2, bypass. Transverter TX, 10 megahertz in, so you can use a GPS on this. I've been kind of looking for one, actually. Push to talk out, accessory port, your power connection, your external speaker. We'll get to that. Well, I'll get to it right now. If you have one of these and you haven't plugged it in yet and you have powered speakers, do not plug your powered speaker into the back of this. You plug it into the headphone jack or you're going to go boom, boom. You're going to have problems. That was a problem with these. Over to this guy, to the Flex 6300, you've got 2 antenna ports, all right? You got your ground lug. You've got your Anderson power poles. Now, I can say that I'm not a super big fan of Anderson power poles. I've never used them, but since I got this, I've been thinking about, well, maybe, because I have all kinds of crimpers and stuff, I can get a crimper for these guys. Maybe I should set myself up on these and make my life a hell of a lot easier, but I haven't gone there yet. Remote on and transmit. That's your push to talk for like a foot switch or whatever. I believe, maybe I'm screwing myself up. Accessory port, powered speakers, no problem. Plug in the speakers into this guy. And I'm speaking out of turn here. There's the push to talk. There's the ALC, which I never used. There's your transverter if you're going to play with that. There's your RJ45 connection. 2 USB plugs also on this guy. This one does have a tuner in it. This one does not have a tuner, built-in tuner. I don't even think they offered it. And when I was looking for one, I definitely wanted to find one with the tuner in it. That's the only downfall of this guy, in my opinion. Using both of these, I'd love to have a built-in tuner, but you can buy one of these cheapy 100-watt, 200-watt LDGs or something, I guess, but I just haven't done that. So that's the deal with these guys. Maybe you want to see the bottom. There's your bottom side there. That's where your fan is. Okay. There is not a built-in speaker. There's not a built-in speaker here either. Let me pop the bottom open on this guy. And so you can get a look on that. There you go. So physically, they're pretty different. They definitely are different. And this will probably give me a chance, because I disconnect everything, to probably set these up a little bit different in my station here, because I've had them set up. This was kind of sitting in a rack, and this was sitting on top of a tuner, and I'll probably set those up a little different. But the software packages are very different. This one we're going to stick with Thetis, and this one, of course, we're just going to stick with the standard Flex. I do have Mac software for this guy that is made that works pretty nice, and I will get into that on a different video, because that's just too much for one video. So as far as that goes, that's the physicality on these guys. And you got to check out my good Lazy Susan here that I'll be using. And I definitely ought to do a frequency standard on that someday, but I haven't had a problem with it. Just be kind of cool, I guess. So I don't know if this one had an option internally for it. I know the other ones do. But good luck trying to find, something from Flex on some of this stuff. They stopped making the 6300. 6400 is their walk-in model right now. And would I like the 6400? Yeah, I actually wouldn't mind having that. It's an upgrade to this guy. So next up, I'm going to bring the specs up on screen. We're going to talk about that. I've got to get all this stuff hooked up together. We'll do some on-air comparisons. Non-scientific, but so you guys get the 2 cents on it. They're both very good rigs. Quirk-wise, they're pretty good. Even, this guy was, more of a, I don't want to say DIY, but you had to be a little bit more of a computer guy compared to this guy by the time Flex, because Flex had the Flex, SDR 1000, which I've owned, the 3000, the 5000, which I've owned both of those multiple times, and then they went into the 6000 series. Heck, they'll probably have the 7000 series coming out soon. Don't know. And of course, Apache Labs has the 100D. There's a B version of this that people tell me stay away from. I don't know why, but whatever. The 100D, the 200D, I believe it's a D, and then you've got the 7000s and 8000s and all that, but that's out of my price point, so probably won't be going there. So let's go over to get this stuff hooked up on the bench and do part 2. All right, guys, I wanted to touch on one other thing that I did not get into, microphone attachment. The Flex is easy peasy, okay? Yaesu wiring. Yaesu wiring. I mean, I can plug this InRad mic into it from my JRC, same wiring. So, Yaesu 8-pin wiring. No issues there. Here, different story. 1/8 inch plug. I had to make this connector, okay? And which... is a stereo connector, and it works fine, no problem. Other guys, I have this, what they call breakout box, okay? Guys will use this for their push to talk, their audio and everything, and come out the back of this guy. I didn't have any need for it. I really don't. I don't run outboard gear anymore. I don't really care for it. I don't think it needs it with the EQs on these things. If you can't make your microphone sound nice in a standard, whether it's AM, sideband, FM, or whatever, with what they give you, the tools they give you in the software, and you feel like you have to have a rack of, $2,000 worth of gear, well, more power to you, but I really don't see any need for it. So yeah, this one's a little bit of a pill. They did change this, I believe, but on this model, it's a bit of a pill. So I wanted to throw that out there to make sure we covered everything. Okay, guys, so I got the rigs back all hooked up in that menagerie. Um, let's go over some specs on the Flex right now, and then we'll do a little demo on the Flex radio. And I give my opinion on this stuff. I like both rigs. You guys can be the judge from what you see and hear. Um, I like both of them. I think my Apache Labs Anan sounds a bit better on AM, but it's probably marginal. So let's go over to this stuff. Let me make me disappear here. There we go. Okay, so this 63, the 65, 67 all came out, I don't know, 2014, something like that. So, and I'm not going to get deep into this stuff. The Anon one shows a little bit more on. It's hard to find a PDF on this thing on the 63. So, you got 2 full performance receivers and pan adapters. You can view 2 different bands at once. Does have transverter for VHF microwave stuff. I have no interest in that. 6 to 160. Full digital operation, FT8, all that via DAX. DAX is a little piece of software that comes with Smart SDR that gives you the ability. It's like virtual audio cable, okay, and that's what that is. Network ready via the Ethernet port. Like I said, you get 2 slices, 2 pan adapters. Maximum pan adapter bandwidth is 7 meg. And as you know, on the back, you had 2 SO239s, yada, yada, yada. Wideband coverage. Digital audio chain 2. DAX IQ channels. We don't really care about that. Mic connectors on balance A pin. Optional tuner. I think it was like $300 for the tuner. I think we'll see that in the next slide here. So let me drop this one and go. So QST Magazine in April 2015 reviewed it. I just wanted to show you guys what they reviewed. Let me bring this up a little bit more. And so you can see all the specs here. So they're going to, and you can compare this to whatever you want to compare it with. That's why we're not doing a test lab here. I don't have that kind of equipment. This is all seat of the pants, average Joe ham radio operator use. Okay. This is how it is, man. Real time. Not in the lab. Lab, totally different conditions. Anyway, you can see all the 20 kilohertz block gain compression numbers, third order IMD. Let me bring this a little bit slower so you guys can kind of view up and down here. You can find this on the net. Now, you don't need me to put it up anywhere. There's your third order transmit IMD right there. Okay. Pretty good. I mean, pretty good. Okay. I'm trying to think if I leave anything out. 100-watt rig, all the way, 6 meters and down, all mode, 13.8 volts, of course, DC. It doesn't have a built-in power supply. To 16 amp on transmit. I see a little bit more than that, but anyways, 1.6 amp on receive. Well, it's on right now. It's probably about that. So anyways, I use a Astron, what is it, SS30 or something like that, metered. So that gives you kind of just a ballpark deal on this. I don't think I ever tested an ANAN-100, but I figured I'd throw this up here so you guys can check it out. It's kind of cool. Okay. I'm going to go down to this here. All ARRL lab stuff. Like most hams that are reading this stuff, number one, don't even know what the hell half of it is. And there's these guys out there that read QEX magazine that definitely know what a lot of this stuff is. I'm about 75% there, but honestly, it doesn't make much difference if you like the rig's not causing problems up and down the band, use it. There's your spectral display on the Flex for 6300 transmitter during keying. Whoops, there you go. You screwed it all up now. Okay. Right there. Resolution of 10 hertz on the spectrum analyzer. Transmitter is being operated at 94 watts PEP output on the 14 megahertz band. And there you go. There's your plot there. That should tell you guys a few things. At the time, the Flex was $24.99 with the ATU. That was $300 more. Flex Control little knobby was $100, which I see guys selling them for more than that, I think now, which is kind of stupid. There's a couple other like off-brand little VFO knob things on the internet that you can use with this Flex, and DJ control boxes and stuff that you can use also. You can use them on the Anan too. Anyway, so that gives you an idea of what's going on with that thing. How about we dump that and look what we got here. Flex. So this is the latest 3.5.9. It's the latest and greatest. When you sign up on here, I thought I'd like have a problem. When I initially came on, I did see the guy's call sign, and I signed up for my account on the Flex Radio. Put in all my information. I was able to change the nickname and the call sign, and good to go. Didn't have a problem. So I'll go through a couple menus with you guys, and we'll do some audio and some clicking around and stuff. Pretty simple, enable the remote, Flex Control, blah, blah, blah. Network stuff. That's my local network, so you're not getting any information. Timings, you could do TX delay, set a timeout timer. Some people need that little transmit delay with their amplifiers. I'm enabling to view my transmit in the waterfall. I've heard people complain about this, that it doesn't show. It shows like a crappy signal, like you see upper sideband and stuff, when there really isn't. So it's just near field stuff. You'll see when I give you a demo. Microphone setting, plus 20 dB on the mic that I'm using, and I'm enabling the metering here as I go. As if you look over to the right on top, you can see me when I talk into the microphone. You see the level go there. More on that in a minute. Mute local audio when on remote. So this is nice because it is different than the Anan. The Anan does not, at least I haven't found it, and I've had the Anan a lot longer than I had this Flex. So when I'm running remote, this is a separate building from my house. I go in the house, in the office, and it's cold out here. I don't got to turn the heat on and stuff, and I can run remote. So what happens with clicking that is when you walk into the building here, you don't hear anything. You just see the little green light on the Flex. That's it. On the Anan, you can hear audio going just like you're sitting in here working the radio, and it's all running here. So there's a little difference on that. That's kind of nice. Let's see. Click to tune. We don't need that. You just kind of go through a few things. We're not going to get heavy into all this. Of course, you got profiles. You can set different profiles for different things. All the EQs and stuff you can set and save. And I've got a remote office profile. I've got my Mac that I'm now running a different software that we'll go over at a different point in time on that, similar to this software, but different for Mac. Smart Link, Network, Flex Control. Let's go to Multiflex. So Multiflex gives you the option to have two users at once on one rig, and I've tried it. Remote, I could even be here and somebody could be operating in New York, or Joe could be in New York and John could be in his office here. Two people running the same rig. It does work. T-expand settings, we don't care about that. The CAT and the DAX. So the CAT and the DAX is your virtual audio cable. It sends the audio from the rig through the computer to what software program you need, like FT8 or SSTV. It transmits the audio through the program and into the program. The CAT is what, how's best to describe this? Well, it's a cat. It's not a kitty cat, okay? It is your COM ports, put it that way. So it tells the radio, tells the radio and the software back and forth. They talk to each other, when to transmit, what frequency it's on, and stuff like that. Simple as that. I won't get into that today because that's just too deep in the digital modes, and we don't need to do that. What else? Global, transmit, mic profile, all that. So I'm running a INRAD M629 microphone. I like them. They're great. If not as good or better than Heil microphones, the price is cheaper. I also run this guy, and I have a few of these. I've had them for years. It's Audio-Technica ATR 30s. They're like, I don't know, $30 years ago. And it's a dynamic mic, just like the 629. They sound awesome. You can hear me talking on it right now. I've used them on the air on radios for a while, but I have two of these 629s, so I wanted them to put into use. I've got one with the push-to-talk INRAD deal that I use on my JRC rig, JST245. So, but it can plug right into this Flex and work just as fine. Same microphone, just different push-to-talk. So as far as push-to-talk goes, I should mention that you saw the initial microphone hookup that I showed you. I have a foot switch, okay? Or you can use the Mox button right there, okay? Same sort of deal on the Anan. I like the foot switch because I also use I have a two-tier foot switch, 2 micro switches, and one is a millisecond from the other one. One will go into my Henry amplifier if I want to use that, and the transmit on the rig. What else can I tell you about the software here? I'm on 10 meters, as you can see. This little guy, left corner, I can look at the whole band. If I click B, it'll say zoom to band. There's your whole 10-meter band right there, from 000 all the way up to it's showing 29.6. Not quite the whole band, but pretty much the whole band. Okay, takes a second for it to sync back in. This button is a zoom to a segment of the band. So now I'm seeing like 28.3 to 29.6. A little smaller segment. This guy is your zoom button on the pan adapter and the waterfall. I can also take my mouse and go up here and left click, and I can drag the whole thing wherever I want. All right. And you'll see on the Anan, it's a much different animal. Antenna selections are up here. Antenna 2, that would switch me over. Right now I've got the 6-meter antenna for antenna 2. Transmit side also. DSP. Okay, you got wideband noise blanker, which actually does work nice. The noise blanker, your noise reduction, your automatic notch filter. You've got all your settings here for what you want as far as mode goes. All your bandwidth settings. I haven't figured out if I can customize that. Now, like on Power SDR, I could customize these things, and I haven't seen a customization available on that. That's a difference with the Apache Labs Anan. You can do that. You can customize anything on there. So there's some differences on this. This software is locked down. The Apache Labs ANAN-100D software is not. It's more of an open kind of deal. There's always updates. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but we'll get to that later. Let's see. Um, that's your RIT stuff. This would be the DAX. We're not going to worry about that right now. Okay. Up top over here, we've got, which I can dump these. If you look, I can dump all this stuff, but I always leave it up. I just like to see the whole situation. There's your RF output and your SWR. Up here's your S meter. You can make this disappear and just run the frequency. Okay. Tune 10 watts. It's showing 8 watts right now. Where am I on? 10 probably. No, 12. Well, let's put it at 10 where it should be. So that's supposed to be 10. Now it's like 7 watts, 6 watts. I am showing a little SWR. It's like 1.7 to 1. Yeah. Anyway, automatic tuner works nice. I'm on the Windham right now, off center fed dipole, I should say. There's a tuner that's got the memories for it, so that does work nice. You can see my level meter. Okay, so I'm going to talk into this microphone here. And what's really nice about this is you can set up your audio level on this. Okay, let me turn down this other microphone while I'm doing this so I don't blow you guys out. Okay, so if you look at the level meter here, I'm going to yell into it, hello, hello, hello. I have it set up to essentially where you don't want to see it going in the red. You want to see it, I'm not talking directly into it right now. -5. That's a good zone for it right there, right around there. And you're never going to have any kind of once you get into that red, you're going to start splattering, and it's not a good thing. So you want to keep it out of the red. Okay. You've got your compression. Now, on that, I'm told that it's not your standard compression, which it doesn't sound as crazy. Now you have your normal, your DX, and your DX plus. That really kicks you up. So I usually run it on normal on sideband. Your mic levels right here. Okay. Accessory plus. That's a different audio input from that accessory connector you saw on the back of the rig. We're not going to worry about that today. Different mics. PC mic, you can hook up a microphone into your PC and use that microphone instead. Like when I am running remote, I have a remote mic, USB mic in the PC, and it works really nice. And nobody notices any difference. You can set your AM carrier to where you want it. Box, I don't use it. This is nice. You got your downward expander. It's actually really nice because you get nothing there until you talk. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. It also kind of mutes your, depending where you set that, it mutes your voice. So it's kind of helps with some background noise if you have that problem. What else here? We go down into this pane, which is the kind of the receiver pane. You could change frequency here if you want to by typing it in. This is your step. 3K, 1 meg. I kind of run it around 500 to 1, but you can also choose your modes right there also. This is a record. You just hit the quick record and you can do a playback for somebody that you're listening to. And yes, you can do it on the air or you can listen to it locally. Again, this is another you have your main up top, all the way up top here. You've got your audio. I usually leave that one at 100%. This guy I adjust for how I like to listen to my speakers. I have a pair of Bose computer speakers hooked up to this, and I really like them. They're older pair, and I used them for many years. Yeah, and you can go left, right on the speakers. I don't know why you'd want to do that unless you're running two different pan adapters at once, and you could have one come out the left and one come out the right. So that might work for you. Noise blanker control here. Also, of course, you have it up here. Noise reduction, automatic notch. Here's your RIT stuff. That's direct. I'm running. Let's go to 2.7. So 2.7 is actually 100. You're starting at 100 on the filter to 2800. So let me zoom this in. You can also drag it right here, right on the screen. So I'm running 2400 filter right now. Anyways, you can do that. And then we go to the EQ. My transmit EQ is set up. It is on. There's a receive EQ. I do not usually run it. I don't like it. I want to hear what somebody's supposed to sound like, what their transmission is, and I don't want to hear an EQ'd version so I can give honest reports. So I really don't use that, but I do use, of course, the transmit EQ. So that's the deal with that. Let's kick in a little audio. So, and let me drop this a little bit so it's not bothering you. Click and tune. You take your microphone, you take your mouse and you just point and click, double click, 1, 2. Bring up the audio for you a bit.
For the first time on the single side band, and congrats for the new band, okay? I am the Papa Juliet 2, Mike Alpha November.
Let's try and find somebody else for you here. There you go. So I also have this little guy on the mouse, the wheel, and so I can scroll up and down the band with the wheel. It's nice, depending on, I'm at 500 right now. It's real nice just to scroll. Works the same way with the Anan. So if you don't have one of those little scroll wheels, you should get one if you're running one of these rigs. It's real, makes it nice. Well, let's see who this guy is here.
One momento, I will play you back your voice as I hear it, as I'm hearing it here in Georgia. So stand by. Stand by. Here comes your voice back to you from Georgia.
Maybe he has a flex.
The microphone is Shure 444. Shure 444 with an amplifier made in home.
Okay. Let me drop that for a second. So I'm going to switch over to dummy load. We're on that. I'm going to give you a little transmission here. I'm going to put the monitor on, so you're going to hear the audio back. Okay, guys? Okay, check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know if there's going to be there's probably going to be a bit of an echo here. So there you go. I'm going to take that off. Now you see what I said about audio before. So I'm looking at my audio and I'm thinking, well, gosh darn it. Okay, so I'm running at 100 on the low cut and 3100 on the high cut. So essentially 3K audio. And I am running, let's see, let's go back. Make sure we're 2.9. Okay, 2.9. Let's open it up to 3.3. Okay, so we're at 3.3. And you can see if I zoom in that check 1, 2, I'm way under 3.3. I'm going to go to 2.9. So you can see a little bit out at 2.9, but it's because I'm 3100. Okay, so if I go down to 3,000, or where a lot of guys are, 2.9, you can see it really falls off. It really does fall off. So it is representative in its bandwidth that you're transmitting, and you can see at 100, hello, I can bring it down a little bit. And again, I'm on the dummy load, so I can play with this. You can see that it is pretty representative of that. But what I don't like is it's the near field. Is look at all the upper and outside the band. You're seeing this. Let me open this up a little bit. Hello, check 1, 2, 3, 4, and 9 AMI. Look at that. It drives me nuts to see that. Whether I turn that on or off in the menu setting that I showed you earlier, it doesn't really make much difference, I don't think. So it is what it is, but it's not representing really what your signal's doing. Because if I had a signal like that, oh boy, I'd have people, pissed off. Okay, so let me go off the dummy load back onto the band here. And okay, so let's go over to this side. So what if I want to do a little something here? Whoops, I don't want that. And I want to add another pan adapter. Well, check this out. How do you like that? Is that the cat's meow or what? So now I'm cruising around. I'm on AM. No, look at, here's an AM signal right here, I believe. Let me give you some audio. He's not super strong, so it's not the best. Let me, okay. I'm on the right antenna. So he's not very strong, and you can see somebody else is right here playing around. And again, I can do this just like I can up here. All I have to do is I click up here, and I can go to this stuff.
Transmission. Let's see if I can play it back to you. The band.
This guy's still playing people's audio back. But then I can go back to this guy. I'm not really hearing too good of audio on him. He's very weak. I mean, look, he's right there, S3, S4. So I can have two slices at once. On other flexes, the newer ones, 6400, I think you can have like, I don't know. I want to say 7, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's 4. But how many receivers can you listen to at once? I guess maybe if you were looking for something, looking for some contacts and like say maybe a contest or something, it's good, but 2 is good for me, and I rarely use this. It also works nice where you can go full duplex and set up the same back and forth to set up your audio. Let me shut this one down, okay? Let's go back to that. Let me adjust this a little bit. Okay. Let me drop that. So setting up the audio on the flex. Yes, I talked about the levels. All right, I talked about the levels, and I should be going this way because you guys are the way you're looking. But it's pre. When you click on monitor, it's pre, so you're not hearing what the EQ is doing. So what you have to do is set up another slice, another pan adapter, and you got to click on this full duplex. Okay. And you can do this, you don't have to switch to a dummy load. You can do this on the air, and you pick transverter. Anyways, if you want to do that, if you got a problem doing that, you can find it on the Flex website with the information. But what I'm saying is you just can't click monitor on this Flex, this 6000 series of Flex, and hear what you sound like. You have to go through a few steps in order to do that. Once you do it a few times, you get it, but I prefer the Anan where I can just click monitor and stick some headphones on, and wow, it's right there. So there's a difference there too. What else can I tell you guys? 100 watts, like I said. Let's go up here. This is the TNF is a tracking notch filter. That's self-explanatory. I go and I want to change bands. This is where I'm at. Okay. There's 20 meters, 17, It's what time is it? It's 2:30 here right now. So 17 is going to be pretty active. Let me give you some more audio.
For it, and the guys that did this had a 20, a 15, and a 10 strung up on the same mast, and so that was my plan originally. But now it's kind of got to winter, and I'm not going to mess with it. I need a little help putting it up and down to where I have it. So it's interesting, though. I have some pictures of it I've sent to people. And I also bought recently. You're talking about that chameleon. A friend of mine is a chameleon fan, and he has a 40-meter antenna that actually works good on some other bands. But I bought another antenna from, it's an off-center fed. It doesn't need a tuner on most bands. And it's also, Spider Beam doesn't make it, but they sell it. And it's a 404 UL. And I think it goes up to, I don't know, maybe 100 or 200 watts. I should remember, but I don't.
Click and tune.
And
a little bit of QSP on you that time, but I was able to pull you out, no problem. Then you came right back up, and you peaked out at one time at close to 10 over S9. So
the FTA.
Yeah, the band's up and down here right now. We're starting to get a gray line here on the East Coast.
I'm gonna show you guys this. Watch. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna dump the audio though, because how annoying that is that sound, right? But check this out. I've run FT8 on this. Is that pretty cool? You can really check all that out, right? I gotta bring up the microphone just a bit more here for you guys. There we go. Okay. You could see everything. Man, this guy's like, let's see, 2.9. Okay, he's right in the 3K. So yeah, you could zoom right. I think I can go even more. That's it. I'm maxed out right now. So I'm looking at all the signals at once on 18.1 FT8. Listen to this mess. Yeah. So anyway, there you go. FT8. CW. Okay. So let's get over here. This rig is badass. CW rig. Everybody that has a flex that is a CW operator loves the flex for that. Full break-in, whatever, you're running a bug, you're running an iambic key, you're running a straight key. Usually I have a straight key. Honestly, I think I plugged in my straight key to this once so far. I've had this 6300. It's new to me for, I don't know, 6 months. Okay, so we'll just pull that down. So that's gonna mess up everything if I keep doing that. So it's very nice. Now on that other software, the Mac version software that Flex doesn't make, this other guy makes it from over the pond somewhere, I believe. They have built-in FT8, built-in RTTY, built-in CW decoder, and transmit if you don't have a key, if you don't know CW. A lot of guys don't these days. And I'm not a big CW operator, but I do know code, and I do plug in a key occasionally. Usually, I plug it into one of these Swans just because it's vintage, and I'll play a little bit, or I'll just tune around the band and pull out a notepad and keep up just to keep the rust off, because I think every ham radio operator should know the code, even if they don't operate Morse code all the time. They should know the code and be able to at least copy, at least 5 to 7 words per minute. So, anyways, another video, another time. Back to the rig. What else can I tell you about the rig here? And of course, you've got all the filters that you can, ridiculous. 50 hertz, 100, 250, 3K, for all this. Of course, you've got your DigiU and DigiL. That's for, most of the time you always use DigiU anyways. That's for your digital modes, FT8, all that kind of jazz. Synchronous AM, FM, narrowband FM. DFM, which nobody's ever friggin' using, RTTY, which if you look, it gives you the nice little lines there. Okay. Let's go back up to our zone. And that's kind of the nutshell for this guy. Transmit, receive, very nice. I mean, the audio, you can't go wrong on it. Let's do, okay, so I need to go for the rest of this. So I showed you the band deal stuff for 630 and 2200 meters. That's that. I don't think there's too many guys running that, but there are a few in the country. 630, yeah. General coverage receiver, WWV, your transverter, antenna. So here's your preamp. One, preamp on, up top, preamp off. Wideband. They had the wideband filter there too, which I don't know why, but they do. They also have it, up here in the DSP section. And you don't get it down here. You get noise blanker, noise reduction, and that. How does the noise reduction work? Should we try it? Let's try it. Let's find somebody.
Yeah. Veritron ALS 600 on. I think you said you're running about 400 watts, 450 with that. Yeah, that's fine. And I do get from the SB220. I do get
from my wife a few years back. All I wanted was one of them little $40 jobs they showed on the local news station, but she went online and got this, and it's kind of a high end, but it served me well. It's probably close to 15 years old now.
It does work pretty nice.
Replace a anemometer cup because of hail, and otherwise it's working great. I bring it in here.
I run it right around there usually.
APRS radio and transmit
and I don't use it that often.
I use internet since I have it here.
Unless it's like
the
low
way
bands
I can see my weather at home on my phone,
and I just can't stand it. Let's go to 40 meters.
And then also report to.
Because I have some interference issues here, as I'll show you. Look at this. Can you see this? This is some moron solar, I think, in the area. And I'm rural. I believe it's a solar thing. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's not. Let me show you when I switch to antenna. You can really see that on the 66-foot vertical. Look at that mess. Does it interfere with my operation? Most of the time, no.
Heading into the other room, get cleaned up, get some going outdoors clothes on, and head up to my little store here and get some tortillas.
Okay.
WF6R, W680.
Okay, Andy, sounds good. Have a good remainder of the afternoon. I'll be listening here.
You too, Steve. Take care.
Now, I do notice sometimes on this rig, the noise blanker on stronger signals, like, 10, 20 over, it will distort a bit. And I'm surprised at that with Flex. And yes, it's a bit, you can adjust it. But even on the lowest adjustment, I notice it does distort a bit. And it's kind of a pain in the butt. I don't really get that much on the Anan. So there's a difference for you too. So essentially, that's the Flex, guys. What do you think? Comments below. For weak signals, it really pulls them out. It's really nice. Now, even on like this band here, I can hit noise blanker. I can hit, I've got the WNB, the wide band. I don't notice a lot on that. You can hear that a little bit. It changes it. That actually helps the most on this kind of issue that I'm having. Like I said, sometimes it's on, sometimes it's not. And it's a real pain in the butt on 40. I do see it on 80 also. display. So display, you can change everything. This is for, you know, your FPS. I'm at 25. This is for your pan adapter. Okay. You got your pan adapter and you got your waterfall. That adjusts all that. Okay, we don't need to worry too much about it. And of course, back to the DAX. We're not worried about the DAX right now. So that is the Flex 6300. I love it. It's great. I will mention this on remoting. On remoting, I had the Anan much longer than the Flex, and it was always ridiculous to remote it. It never worked. I have Starlink, and I have to always use like a VPN for that because of the way Starlink's network is configured. But even remoting it into my other house, I can never get it to work right until I put in well, I had to hardwire out here, which was a whole different story. Hardwired out here to this building, and ran a different kind of setup as far as that goes. But I won't get into the whole networking deal. But instead of having the Anan plugged into the computer, I have a box, essentially a switch, and the Anan plugs into the switch plugs into the computer, the Flex plugs into the switch, and the hard line plugs directly into my router at the house, and the computer plugs into the switch too. So, and that did the trick. I'm kind of an old IT dude, so that was a lot of work just to get that thing on. The Flex, I was like, okay, what is this going to do now? Because I used to do all kinds of remoting with the ICOM stuff. Never had a problem. Even with, I didn't have to deal with it. But in the case of the ICOM 7300 that I used for a couple years remote from Florida, I had to, of course, have the computer running, and that was acting as essentially it's a server. So I kind of laugh when people say they got a server for their computer, but not really. But that's the deal with that. So, but that works seamlessly for a very long time, and I didn't have a problem with that. I've got a 7610 at the house back east. You do not need have that hooked up to a computer in order to run anything. You just plug the Ethernet into it, plug it into your router, done deal. And that's another video for another day. But back to the Flex. So I was like, okay, what kind of rigmarole am I going to have to go through for that? And this is when I started, when I ran all the Ethernet hardline and stuff out here, because I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. And I figured, well, if the Anan isn't going to work, it isn't going to work, but we'll see what happens. Because what I was using, the Anan remotely, I was using AnyDesk to get it, which really isn't the best way to do it. So it worked, but it wasn't as nice as using, just bringing up software and having to connect. So I loaded up the software on the remote computer, fired it up, entered my information on it. Bam, I'm on the air. Like in 1 minute. 1 minute. Anan, not so much. You got to put in IP addresses and all kinds of stuff, but we'll get to that when I get there. So that's the deal with that. We'll talk about remoting at a different time. So that is the Flex Radio, guys. I don't think there's anything else I can really show you per se. I'm sure I'm missing a few things. Up here in the top corner, you have you have a separate for your headset audio also, which is actually very nice. Updates, it will ding you if there's an update when you start the rig, and you just update it. That's it. So that's the deal with that. What else? Do I like the rig? Yes, I do. It's probably, let me bring up some audio again here.
And I guess maybe I don't know exactly where that's at. Unfortunately, I think how you get there is you go out Ina and Sunrise, so you get to Swan, and then you go on Swan to Grant, and you turn left, and you go 50 feet, and you turn left again, and there you are.
Yeah, there's a
So I love the Flex. I've always liked Flex radios, even from my SDR 1000, the first one. And with a million cables everywhere and stuff like that. I even liked that rig when it first came out. So even though I do have a lot of vintage stuff here, I do stay up on the latest and greatest. Even though I don't have a Flex 6600. I don't really have a need to pay that kind of money for one of those rigs, but I've got what I think is my best bang for the buck, and that's the 6300 Flex Signature Series. And the Apache ANAN-100 is coming next. So let me get this all running for you. Okay, so I have the ANAN-100 fired up, and we're going to go through the quick specs on it. They actually have a nicer spec sheet than I found for Flex, but I'm sure at the time it was they probably had a better one out. So anyways, let me drop myself down here and shrinky dink. All right. Put me over here, get this out of the way. And let's zoom in a bit on the specs here. So at the time, similar pricing. ANAN-100 was $24.89. Logic elements. Now, some of this stuff didn't have listed for the Flex, but I'm sure it could be comparable. 16 gig of flash RAM. Now also, I want to say at the time, like Anan was like, if you wanted an Anan, and it probably still is similar, you were anti-Flex radio because Anan's more open source. So just saying, there's a little bit of different mentality there maybe, but I like both. Talks about the master clock, 10 meg reference, TCXO, blah, 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 1 parts per million. I'm sure it's pretty close to the same for the Flex. Ethernet, gigabit, same with the Flex. I'll get into more of that in a minute. Oops. Of course, all mode, same thing. All mode. I think I need a new battery in my mouse. Anyways, all mode on that. We don't care, yada yada on all that. Direct down conversion, same as the Flex. 1 ADC. There's 2 ADCs on the D and the 200. The resolution of ADCs are the same. You can see it's pretty similar on a lot of this stuff. Preamp, audio amplifier, doesn't really make any difference. Transmitter architecture, direct up conversion, 1 to 100 watts, 6 to 160. Does everything that the Flex does and vice versa. Better than 45 dB down on all bands, 6 through 160. I'll give you a little idea there. Let me back this out a little bit. And they talk about, how the thing is, what's in it. More the 100D. The 100D is similar. The construction is the same as far as the box goes and everything. I've been inside the 100. And then we get into this whole Hermes deal, Orion, Angela. Those are code names for the different rigs. Okay. The 100D, the 200. What else can I tell you here? And we don't care about the 200. So that is that. Okay, let me bring up the software. So the software is Thetis. I'm on 2.10.3.5, 64-bit. Protocol number 1. I have not changed to 2 on this 100 because it's a bit of a pill. People say it runs a little hot to the processor, but there's a few mods you can do to have it run cooler, but I just haven't seen a use to do it. And you got to kind of, to do the firmware on this thing, it's a real pain in the you-know-what in the boys. It is a joke. So let's get into the setup on it. So you get the rig. Initially, you got to choose what model you're running. Okay, and as you can see, look at all the models. Okay, they have a lot of them out there. So mine's the 100. Now the cool thing about this is, okay, now some people might agree or disagree with me. Region is the United States. This guy right here is extended. What that gives you is you pretty much transmit anywhere. Not that I'm doing that. You can transmit in CB radio. What if I want to use it on CB? Yeah, well, another video for another time. But of course, I want, you're paying money for these rigs. Every rig that I own besides this Flex, I have done the Mars mod on. Because not that I'm transmitting anywhere that I shouldn't be, but that it's my radio. I paid the money for it. In case of an emergency, I should be able to transmit anywhere in case of an emergency. Remember what I'm saying here. Okay. We're talking end of world scenario here. All right. So let's go over to this network setting situation here. So as you can see, there's my local IP address. You have to put it in. And now if you buy one of these, I'm going to tell you this. If you buy one of these rigs used, I suggest you make sure you ask the person that's selling it to you to write down what the IP address of the radio is. Because yes, the radio has an IP address, just like the Flex does. Because on this rig, if you plug it into your network and you don't know what the IP address is, you're not getting the rig. You're not going to be able, you'll never start the software. It will not work. You need the IP address of the rig. So I suggest you get that. It's a caveat. So essentially you type that in, select the IP, auto detect I have on mine now. Firewall check. I'm not running as administrator, so we don't need that. So firmware, FW set, a sample rate, 192. Now here's what the deal is. If I go to protocol 2, which I discussed, I can have, I don't know what it is. It's way beyond 192 sample rate. So what that is it's, you could see practically the whole amateur band. It's huge what these guys are running on protocol 2. You can see everything. I can see a lot of the band that I'm on, but you can see way further out than that. That's what gives you that. Options, we're not going to get too much into a lot of this stuff. I mean, this menu system is huge on this sucker. Okay. If you like to tweak and I'm not talking, smoky here, guys, let's get real. If you like to tweak and tune and play with a lot of stuff, if you're one of those guys and you're computer literate, this is your game. I mean, this definitely is your game here. Okay. Yeah, you can put your, call sign and all that up there. Different options for different things. I do have my QSO timer up, which is down here on the bottom. Okay. Info bar. There's a lot of stuff that they've actually added in the last couple updates. Calibration. So this rig, when you get it, when you update the firmware in it, and even when I update the software, I always go and calibrate, do a frequency calibration, which is WWV, level cal, and call it good. This stuff I haven't messed with. Filters, leave it at linear. This you have no use for, but I'm going to go through it all with you, just one thing at a time. Antenna control, so you saw all those inputs, outputs on the back. You have lots of control and do lots of different things with this. Okay, SWR protection. I have mine disabled actually because my big Henry amp, there's tuned inputs, and I've got to go back in there like on 75. The guy who had it before tweaked the tune input, and when I use the amp, it shows a little higher SWR, and I don't like looking at it, so I turn that off. What else do we have? Let's not get too deep in this. So again, we're running Protocol 1 assignments and 1 ADC. Navigation. Let's go back up to audio. So I have my VAC 1 set up right now. So that's virtual audio cable. Some of you guys heard of this from, downloaded software for it for other stuff, other different rigs. These have it built in. This is the same thing as DAX and clicking the PC button, PC audio button on the Flex. It's just runs different. And you've got all this other control over it. There's all kinds of stuff. Look at now you can see all this DAC stuff from the Flex. So, and then buffer sizes make a difference. You want to match them to your software that you're using. For this video, I'll be using VAC because I'm sending it over to my OBS recording studio that I use for the video. VAC2, you've got 2 of them. Options, we don't really deal with that right now. This baby I've never touched because you got this big warning message. These settings may cause undesirable side effects if changed from default. I've never touched them. I probably won't touch them. Display. You have a huge amount of control over this. I mean, there's a big difference on this kind of stuff from the Flex. Okay, you can fill the pan adapter, you can change colors, I'm running this at 60 FPS. I believe the Flex is at 25. That's for the 7,000 for the volts. DirectX sampling, multimeter. This is all this jazz up here. Trust me, there's a lot you can do with this. You can add different meters on here, all kinds of stuff. RX1, RX2, TX. Let's go to the DSP. This is huge here. All right, so the DSP, you could change all your buffers on sideband, AM, to low latency, to linear phase, okay? CW, the pitch, the connectors that you're going to use, semi-break-in, iambic key. As you can see, there's a lot there. Automatic gain control and automatic limiting control. So this starts getting down the rabbit hole. And I seriously mean that. This gets into, like I said, if you like tweaking, you can get into some big time audio with this thing. It's pretty cool. And this has a lot to do with that too. I also receive anyways. AM and FM, I use this rig on AM all the time, and nobody can tell the difference from a broadcast transmitter. It's really nice. What's also nice is if you get a lot of sidewinders or sidebanders, we'll call it, I'll be nice. You can use a synchronous AM, and you can change this to, say you got a guy on lower sideband on 38, close to 3870, or say 3870. He's on lower sideband. Well, yeah, I could just switch into upper sideband, but I want to go to synchronous because I want to hear a little bit better of what the AM audio sounds like. So I can only listen to one side of that, but I'm still in quote unquote an AM mode. It's pretty nice. I use it all the time. And I'll probably just put that back in USB. You can emulate a military radio. So if I can do AM transmit, and I can just transmit with an AM carrier and one sideband or both sidebands. FM, you got tones. It works fine. I don't have any problems with it. I've used it on the 10-meter repeaters. This I haven't jacked with for a second, so I can't tell you anything about it, to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you here, guys. EER mode. I've never used it, and honestly, I've never even looked up what the hell it's for. Noise reduction and automatic notch filters for both receivers, pre and post, different gain methods. There's a lot here. Multi-notch filter, so you can just not have one notch filter, you can have multiple ones running. Noise blanker. The what do you call it? This guy here, this SNB, I've never really used it. It sounds terrible, but I'll demo it for you guys. Vox, never use it. CFC, there we go. Down the rabbit hole. Continuous frequency compression and post continuous frequency compression and EQ mode. Now you can see how mine's set up. I took a lot of time to set this up. The phase rotator, AM. Sometimes somebody says, oh, your audio's out of phase. Well, you can reverse it, or you can set it up for that, or you don't have to use any of this. So this is one of the EQs only. Let's go to transmit. So this is similar to the Power SDR, and this is all based on Power SDR, by the way. So you got transmit profiles. You can see mine here. Okay. Transmit filter. You could change it to whatever you want. I mean, you could transmit 10K sideband. Monitor. You can go. They offer you all kinds of profiles for different microphones, as you can see, PR40, that kind of stuff, similar to Flex. What else can I tell you? The plus 20 mic boost, PA settings. So when you get your Anan, especially one of these older Anans, you want to check that. Essentially, dummy load, a good watt meter, a good peak reading, hopefully computer reading watt meter. I use an LP100A, and you go through each band and tweak these to where it's set max 100 watts, 100 watts, 100 watts, 100 watts. And you'll notice that if it hasn't been done, you'll have to make some changes. And you could do some watt meter trim to see if your watt meter is properly calibrated. Like I said, there's a lot here, guys. So this is cool. This is cool. So you get skins. Flex doesn't get offer this, okay? Let me show you what I mean. So this is a cool skin. Watch. You can change these skins. You can download these and install them. It's really cool. Here's one, freaky one. The Matrix. Oh, for you, where is it? Where is it? For you Star Trek fanatics, check that out. How do you like that? Pretty cool, right? And steampunk, that's kind of cool one. And if you don't like the background, watch this. Boom, you can make it black. I tend to use this guy. Heavy metal. Collins 32V. Got the little Collins guy down there. It's kind of neat. Anyways, I'll tell you what. Let's just go back to that. And we'll go through the rest of this. So you can designate what you want your keyboard to do. You've got your serial stuff. This is for the cat. This is similar to the Flex. They call it something different, but you set up your cat control here for multiple programs. There's network stuff. This you can get it going to all kinds of stuff. MIDI configuration. Focus Master. You can do this on the same. You can use N1MM. You can use all kinds of different things, just like the Flex. That's equal to the Flex. Andromeda. That's a different radio. We don't deal with that. Whoops. I need to go back to. I think we did all that. And tests. So you can do two-tone, signal generator, apply DSP for the radio. all kinds of stuff. It really gets going. So, anyways, you have pure signal on these Anans. That's a difference. I believe Flex is saying that their processor is a pure signal processor. I believe that's true. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's been said about that. So let's fire this thing up, okay?
Thank you, Ben. Very, very helpful. I'll take the last station from the East Coast of the United States. That is November 2, Japan, United Sugar. November 2, Juliet, United Sugar. Are you still up, over?
I'm just going to move myself here. Let's find somebody else that's a little stronger. Okay, so in order to move around the band here, you just can't double click. You got to right click once, and you see how I've got this guy here, and I drop him right here, and away we go.
73 Central Japan, November number 2, Japan Delta X-ray, Japan Florida number 1, Echo Hotel Mexico. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
So you say you want something similar to the Flex, right? So we're going to go with the Panafall.
India. Kilowatt number 4, kilowatt number 4. Kilo 4, Alpha, India, India. Oscar, India, India. Kilo 4, Alpha. Right? India, India, Alpha, India, India. I'm sorry. Kilo number 4, Alpha, India, India. Kilowatt number 4, Alpha, India, India. Over. Roger, Roger, Jim. The name is Wade, Whiskey Alpha Delta Echo, and you are 5-7 into Tennessee. Yeah, fine. 5x7, thank you so much. Also 5x7 here. Thank you so much, my friend. I watch in the direction. Kilowatt for America, India, India. Japan, Florida, number 1, Echo Hotel, Mexico. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, so there you go. Little taste, little JA action from Japan. So this is the Panafall. So you got the pan adapter, and you got the what do you call it? The waterfall display. So you can go Spectrum. If this guy comes up, there it is. That's his audio.
5x7 QSL.
Okay. Standard pan adapter. You got the scope. Nobody's talking. Scope 2, which I like. Nobody's talking.
Yeah, fine. That is excellent information. Thank you so much. Also, there's a question 5x8 tonight. Very good copy here.
Pretty
Thank
cool,
you so
right?
much. I want to meet the version 73, Sarama, Japan. Papa Yankee number 2,
Phase in,
Alpha,
you can
Alpha
kind of see it a
Mike.
little bit there.
Japan, Florida, number
Phase
1,
2.
Echo Hotel, Mexico. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
So you can just do all waterfall.
Thank you.
Bravo, Alpha, Delta.
One more time, keyword that.
Histogram,
Alpha, India, 5, Zulu.
which is pretty damn cool. Check the audio.
Alpha Boston something,
I should
Alpha
open this up.
Boston.
There we go. 2.9. I was running 2.4. Back to the Panafall.
California, so I got you. Alpha
Pan
Boston
scope.
number 9, uniform. Alpha Boston number 9, uniform. Thank you.
And the spectroscope.
5x8, 5x8, QSL. Yeah, 5x5. Thanks so much. Yeah, brilliant. 5x8, big good copy here. Thank you so much. Oh,
Zulu. Kilo Bravo 5, Zulu Golf Zulu. Cindy in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Should we try Cindy? Okay, so let's get down to business here. You got a little bit of audio. So it sounds the same as a Flex. As you can see, there's like a million things in the menu that you can do that Flex doesn't let you do. So that's kind of the difference on how some people view things. Like just like how I said, I should be able to transmit anywhere that I want to. Not that I'm doing it, but it's the point. So there's a whole argument there, but just like all the other stuff you can do with this thing. So let's open this up. Open this up as wide as I can. There it is right there. So I'm looking at 28.420 to 28.5, maybe 90 in that zone. It's pretty good window. Now, if I had the Protocol 2, I'd have the whole band. So the Flex does have it beat on this as far as Protocol 1 versus the Flex. But there's some problems with the ANAN-100 Hermes type thing where it heats up much. You got to kind of mod it. And there's a whole thing to installing the firmware. You got to open up the radio. And yeah, every time I've done that and tried it, I've had to go into the radio and do it the old school where you're doing jumpers and using this archaic computer software to do it. The newer ones, they don't have that problem. I'll just put that caveat out there, so don't be scared about that. Let's do this for a little appearance situation. Let's go to this guy. I kind of like this one actually, the brushed metal look. So let's go around this. So I was talking to you about the equalizing. So you saw one of the equalizers. Well, here's the other one. So yeah, let me move this. So I don't use the receive EQ. It's set up just minimally. I use a 3-band one, but you can, use 10-band if you want. I don't have no need for that. This equalizer is set up in order to use the CFC. Okay. So you have to set this up a certain way because you wouldn't set up an equalizer this way probably if you didn't have what this rig has. So this is the pre kind of EQ that you have to set up. I'm not going to get into that. And then of course you got to go into the DSP and the CFC and set these two up in order to get your audio to where you want it. So I'm just going to leave that at that. There's guys that do videos on that. 2 receives. There you go. I can run 2 receivers, just 2 slices, as they call it on Flex. Okay. I'm on what am I on? 80 meters here. So yeah, and you get 2 of everything. So away you go. It kind of gets it crazy. There's 20. Let's go back to 10. So we get 10 on there. There you go. So there's 10. I believe I would have to hit VAC there.
KB5, ZGZ. Thank you so much, Sam, for taking my call, or me for taking your call. I enjoyed it. And what's the next thing, Charlie? Enjoy the QSO. Enjoy the QSO.
Okay. So you can do that. That's the same. Monitor, like I said, the monitor thing is fantastic because it is post. So you can listen to your audio and set up your audio. Tune, same thing. I'm going to go to the dummy load. 2-tone. So this is cool because this has what they call pure signal or pre-distortion. So what that is you click on this guy right here and it adds, you see this guy, it's automatic correction. Essentially what pre-distortion is, or its idea is, it's supposed to have your third order harmonics and other harmonics, and it's supposed to drop them to minus, I don't know what it is, minus 60 or something like that. ICOM's come out with 7610 software that's supposed to do that. Don't know how good it works or not. But honestly, do you need it? Probably not. Does it work? Yes, it does. So essentially, to set this up, you've got to go through a whole rigmarole where you're running a two-tone test, and you see it's in the green. And if you'll look over here, I'm getting a 24 on the step attenuator. I'm done. So when I transmit, where's my foot switch? Oh, I don't have that hooked up right now. When I transmit, hello, hello, hello. Oh, excuse me. VAC's got to go in. What happens if I plugged in the microphone? And I have this set up so where I can just unplug and plug on each radio. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, check. Hello, check. That you'll see it changes over to 24. Okay, right here. It changes right over. So I am seeing my audio how it should look. This is how it should look on the Flex, but it doesn't. This is correcting it as I talk. I don't need to have this on. Once this correction is done, I'm good to go. It's saved. This whole deal up here, this menu takes care of that. So I'm not going to get deep into this pre-distortion thing because that's a whole other rabbit hole like this radio is. There's a lot to it. That's why a lot of guys like these Anans, because they can control everything, and you can tweak, tune, do everything. It's really cool. So let's go back. So you see how the transmit audio looks, and it's pretty cool. So we got a lot of strong signals happening right now on 10. I got to say that.
Kilo 5, Whiskey, Zanzibar.
Whiskey Delta 8.
So how does the noise reduction work? I don't like that one.
Whiskey Delta 8.
No, there's a good one. It's still, to me,
Leave a hotel. November 5, Uniform Echo, Nancy 5.
So the cool thing about this is you right click and it'll take you right to the menu where you want to go. Pre-post, I still haven't gotten to where I like the NR2, and everybody tells me, oh, listen in noise reduction 2, it sounds really nice. I really don't think it does. It works. The noise reduction 1 and 2, it does work, but you got to mess with this stuff, and I don't use it that often. So honestly, just like on the Flex, I really don't use it that often. Auto notch, same stuff. Noise blanker 1 and 2. And again, you can bring up noise blanker settings. Okay. Mute button. Flex has that too. It's up on top. Turns the multi-tracking notch filter on. Flex has that also, and you can set all that up. You can sit here and pan in your speakers, left, right speaker. If you're running both of the receivers, you can, put one on one speaker, one in the other, swap it. This guy it always keeps it in the center, essentially. Okay, that's what that is. Keeps your pan adapter in the center. Again, with the scroll wheel, okay, the scroll wheel, and I'm getting a little sun in here right now, so bear with me, guys. You just scroll along, okay. And where do I pick my my tune step? It's right up on top, right up here. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, similar. What else? This is all your stuff you can do. Transmit and receive. Okay. Your band stack here. Just go right along. 60 meters. 6 meters. Back to 10. Shortwave. Hey, you can go on the CB band, or as we like to call it, the criminal band. Back to HF, WWV, VHF if you have the transverter, similar to Flex Radio. Go back to 10. We don't want to be stuck on there too long. Your little quick access for your frequencies. Now watch this. I can configure these. I'm going to bring it up into the... I can configure all these. Just another thing that Anan has over the Flex. You can set them up however the hell you want. I haven't figured that out. I'm assuming I can do that on Flex, but I haven't figured that out on that software. What else? You could just go and change the width right here, or you can go in here with your mouse and do it. Okay. Your shift. Okay, reset that. This will tell me my transmit bandwidth. Watch the little yellow lines. There we are. That's going to be my transmit bandwidth. Like if I go to AM, this will switch over 0 to 5,000. So I got 5 and 5. That's 10K. There's my 10K bandwidth. I probably wouldn't want to transmit here on AM. I'd probably piss off a lot of sideband guys. Okay. Okay, so like I said, the AM, it automatically switches over for how you had it set up. Let's go back to sideband, back to 100 to 3100. How I have the Flex set up works the same way. What else? Let's see here, guys. This is your downward expander, noise gate, same thing as the Flex. You can see my voice as I'm talking. Box, compression, mic, enable, disable. You got your transmit profiles right here that I like to use. Okay. Of course, you've got your standard A, B, B to A, 0 beat for AM, which is kind of cool. You can just click that and you'll 0 beat somebody if you're not right on for AM. Split, that's same with Flex. Here's your drive power, your gain, your AGC. Now what's cool is you right click here, it'll light up and it does automatic. Let me show you this. So I'm going to turn the AGC all the way, like way down, right? I'm going to right click it. You're going to watch it shoot over. Look at it shot over to 102. So it adjusts the automatic gain. Automatic. It's pretty cool. Receive 2, receive 1, master volume. Those are 3 volumes. So you have record and playback. So if I click this, I'm recording somebody, and then I can play them back on air or off. This guy right here, it's just the receive display when you click on transmit. So it's the same as the Flex, looking at your transmitted audio. Okay. In fact, I should probably do that to show you guys a comparison. Hello, 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 hello. Let me bring this up here. Hang on, guys. A little bit more. Okay, so there it is right there. So just like the Flex, there it is. So if I click this off, hello, hello, hello. Really, that's what you should be seeing. Okay. But again, it does it just like the Flex. You start to see this. Actually, and I should say it is equal to what the Flex is doing. That is not what your transmission looks like. That would never pass the FCC. That is what your transmission really looks like. Okay. This I know for sure. Okay. Off the dummy load. But it's what I think it is. It's near field. It's picking near field up. So it's going to pick all that up because I can do that with some of these vintage rigs I have, and it'll look the same on a receiver that's nearby. So it's not really a good thing. What else? And you've got all the same modes, synchronous AM. This is spectral mode. Full unfiltered sample rate view. What the hell I use that for? I don't know. Digital radio mondial. There's shortwave stations that transmit in that. It does work. I've used it. Pretty cool. In your digital upper and lower. I use this rig only a couple times on the digital mode, slow scan and stuff. It works fine. It works just the same as the Flex rig does. Okay. And all you do is, again, right click and you can set up how you want it. I believe I still have, well, I don't, but maybe that'll work the same. I thought I had different deals on that, but anyhow, this I had set up VAC2 for my digital modes at the time, but apparently it's not set up for that anymore. So this is set up for
America. November 5, Echo, Echo.
Kilo Delta 0, India, Echo Lima.
Thank you very much. 5973.
Kilo 9, Germany, America.
Kilo Golf 9, Yankee. Kilo
November Radio 4 Delta.
Alpha Lima Hotel.
I know you guys are dying to see this again.
Kilo Germany 9 Yankee.
Check that out.
Kilo Delta 9 Tango Zulu.
I mean, I think I see Spock in the window. It is kind of cool though. So, and you can put whatever you want in. One of these I have one set up for my AM international deal. Let me see if I can. I thought it was heavy metal, but maybe it's dark metal. Let's see here. Yada yada. That's not it. There it is. There you go. How do you like that? Kind of cool. AM international. That's the 250TH. That's inside the BC610 transmitter. So sometimes I'll use that. Tektronix scope. So you can, like I said, there's a lot you can play with. Here is the NC55 national receiver. And if you don't like the background, you can always leave it black. And actually, I kind of do a lot of times. You can change fonts. I mean, look at the font. Look at the font up here. So anyway, we'll leave it at that for now. That's about what I can say. This will tell you the usage, system usage. I'm at the 46%, 50%. I am recording, so that's why it's really high right now. You can set up how you want the monitor to come out and look at like. There's your antennas. Quick and easy. I do like how everything is a little bit more accessible, in my opinion. The Flex, I'm kind of finding myself, I'm fumbling around a little bit sometimes. Maybe you guys comment about that. I do like, if I click on AM, boom, I can go right to this. If I right click, I can configure the 5K filter setup. You know, it's nice. Right to the transmit mic. You know, if I right click on that. Right to CFC if I click on the compression. So it's kind of a little more user friendly, even though it's not, because there's so much you can tweak and screw up on. So a lot of guys that aren't really computer guys or audio guys, they get lost really quick on the Anans as compared to the Flex. And even on the Flex, they can too. The top stuff, Finder, that's a new deal that they just put up. Apparently, I can search for stuff. Yeah, okay. Bypass, not worrying about that. This guy is, now I can't show you on this screen because I need to put it on the other screen, unfortunately. But that is, I don't even know what the hell I'd use that for. Wideband, it's like receive the whole band kind of deal. This is some goofy thing. Radio astronomy data collection utility. Okay. What the hell do I need that for? But that's in there. Some people apparently use it. I never looked into it. Just another thing that's down the rabbit hole. Spotting. And these windows are a little out of place because I just added a different second monitor in here. So that's why they're all kind of disembobbled. So this is really nice. I could connect to the DX spots. This is just one that I had set up. Okay. Waiting. Someday. Hopefully it comes on. Make me look like a dingleberry. Anyway, I'm just going to close that up for now. It will show the DX spots right on the screen. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Let's go back to that. Geez, we're still waiting. Yeesh. Wonder why so long. Interesting. But anyway, as you can see, beacon check. You can view all these beacons, and it's there we go. Geez, that was slow. W8TJM. T88 Sierra Mike. So here's Tango 88. This is what all the ruckus is about.
Kilo Golf.
So that's this guy here.
KXKV7KXK509. Kilo Oscar 4, Charlie Tango Papa.
Now, see,
Listening up 3 people.
The usual. This guy's on his receive frequency. He's running split.
Whiskey Alpha.
So the guy's running split, and all these guys are, he's up 3, which they're right in this region right here. And most people are doing it, but other ones that just don't get it are not. And if you look at this, I thought they listed them on here. Here we go. They didn't say, he didn't say he's up 3, but anyways, there's a Lima uniform. So you get my point, okay? Let me open this up a bit here. Let's go down the band a little bit. And there's Lima uniform right there. It kind of looks different on other that one's probably a little more user friendly as far as looks wise. But anyways, it's right here, and you could, just click right on them and go to it. Or if you got the spotter up, you can double click and go right to them too. Okay. No problem. Oops. I just went up to some crazy something that I clicked on. There we go. Back to 10. There we go. I don't know what I double clicked on, but that wasn't good. So that is your ANAN-100 Thetis. The software Thetis works the same throughout the whole series of radios. There's a couple other options like for Andromeda and stuff like that. Code word Andromeda. I like their code words for stuff. Hermes, that kind of stuff. It's kind of cool. Of course, that new little Hermes SDR QRP transceivers out and about running around, and some of you might have run into that. So, I mean, what do you think? Let's go across the rest of this, by the way, too. Let me disconnect from that. Okay. So this will drop down everything, and you get a whole different view. I never use it. Never use it. Diversity, I can't do it on the 100, unfortunately. CWX, what that is a CW keyboard. transverters. Boom. We did the EQ wave. So when you record something, or you can bring in a wave file and play it on the air, you can drag it and add it in here. Okay. Like if I want to do this one, I click OK, and then it would be in there. I can set my levels and I can play it on air, or I can play it over the air. Memories. Again, I've got some 10-meter repeaters in here. Okay. Same thing as flex. And of course, we're back to the setup there. So there's your ANAN-100. There's your Flex 6300. They're same era of technology. Are they still viable? You're damn right. Both of them are viable. Which do I like better? I mean, honestly, thumbs up for both of them. Like I said, if you like to have full control over everything and are a bit of an audiophile, and you probably lean towards the Anan. Not that the Flex can't match sounding the same or receiving the same, but a lot of people go to the Anan, the Apache Lab stuff, because they don't like to be locked out of, a $4,000 radio. So, and I get it. So I have both. Yes, they're not the newest of the new, but they're still top technology out there compared to, what else is out there. FTDX 101. I'll put both these SDRs up against an FTDX 101 any day of the week. Sorry, guys, but equal, if not better. And 7610, same thing. Not that they're not good rigs. They are excellent rigs. But the SDR, a real, not SDRs, like these guys, the Flex, the Apache, the Sun Pro, and other ones that are out there, they're pretty cool. So one other thing I will say, as far as remoting, I do not have to have my computer on the way this is hooked up to remote either of these. Let me repeat that. I do not have to have my PC running to remote either of these rigs. You have to have a switch, and you have to have these rigs plugged into the switch and a direct Ethernet connection to your router to the switch. That's how it works. You cannot use Wi-Fi. I've tried networking tricks. I cannot get any of this stuff to work networked Wi-Fi. It's got to be hardwired. Some people have, I haven't. So if you're going new at this stuff, don't think you're going to do it. Okay. Maybe you're, working at Microsoft. I don't know. You figure it out. Let me know, please. Comments. So that's the deal, guys. Flex Radio versus the Apache Labs. They both look good. I do like the rack handles on the Apache. I think there's rack handles that you can buy separately for the Flex 6400. I don't think the 6300 had any. I wish somebody had some, because I'd slide them both in this little rack unit I have the Apache in right now. But thumbs up for both of them. I hope this maybe helped a few people out there. I know it wasn't really like a super techy looking at spectrum analyzers and stuff, but
Call from Hokkaido, Japan.
Lots of DX out there. Lots of DX out there. So whether you're running an FT101 from 1973 or a TS440 or a Flex Radio, get out there, work some DX, have some fun, talk to some people, because that's what this is all about. Getting out there, enjoying your hobby, talking to people, making new friends and acquaintances around the world, and just having a good time. A lot of people like to build. A lot of people like to tweak on Anans and play with audio. But bottom line is, if you wouldn't be able to talk to somebody else, you wouldn't have a hobby. So get out there and send out those QSL cards electronically or whatever. So Thank you for watching. I hope, like I said, this helps folks. And like, share, subscribe, Wavelength Radio. I'm talked out for today. Long video. I hope this helps somebody again. And seriously, guys, if you have something to say, whether it's negative or not, post it. Post it. Just be honest. I like to get this channel going for what people would like to see. So catch you next time. I'm going to work some DX.
QSL Whiskey Delta 8, Whiskey Delta 8, Ocean Sugar Victor 54. Thank you for contact. Thank you.
Thank you very much.